You swear to yourself it's the last time. You block their number, heal your wounds, and promise you will never tolerate that kind of treatment again. But fast forward 6 months, and you're looking across the table at a new face, realizing you are trapped in the exact same argument. When this happens over and over, a quiet, terrifying question starts to echo in the back of your mind. You start wondering if you are somehow broken, inherently unlovable, or just cursed with the worst luck on the planet. Biology drives this selection. Your nervous system is operating on a hidden illusion, actively choosing chaos over peace because it misidentifies intensity for intimacy. We often confuse the intense spark of chemistry with true compatibility. For many, that sudden magnetic pull is a trauma reflex recognizing a familiar threat. True compatibility requires emotional safety, while chemistry is often just your body bracing for impact. To finally break this loop, we have to stop putting these toxic partners under a microscope and start investigating the hidden mechanics of our own minds. This introduces a psychological paradox. Why does the human brain consistently seek out chaotic, harmful environments, treating them as if they were safe havens? This diagram illustrates the mechanics of Dr. John Bowlby's attachment theory, where our earliest experiences serve as a developmental blueprint. If a child experiences emotional neglect, their developing brain maps out a definition of connection based on the stressors occurring around them. If you had to constantly walk on eggshells to avoid triggering a parent, or act as their emotional caretaker just to receive affection, your nervous system learned a dangerous lesson. Love and anxiety were fused together. In adulthood, this creates a bizarre radar. Your subconscious mind scans a room and locks on to familiar emotional chaos. It misinterprets that turbulence as safety, simply because it is an environment your body already knows how to survive. People trapped in these patterns do not actually want to be hurt. They are tragically pursuing the comfort of a recognized emotional baseline. That leads us to our second paradox. Why do deeply empathetic, caring people constantly end up paired with individuals who lack empathy entirely? When humans encounter a threat, we usually think of the fight or flight response. But there is another biological survival mechanism called the fawn response. This happens when a person preemptively abandons their own boundaries and aggressively appeases a threat in order to avoid conflict. Now contrast that with the psychological profile of a narcissistic manipulator. As experts in toxic behavior like Dr. Ramani Devasula illustrate, these individuals have an absolute requirement for external control and validation in order to function. These archetypes find a seamless fit. A manipulator gravitates towards someone whose primary survival reflex is to accommodate and self-sacrifice, providing the control the manipulator craves. Obsessively anticipating another person's needs to keep the peace is a trauma symptom. This hypervigilance is a learned survival strategy, distinct from healthy empathy. Toxic individuals are not drawn to weakness. They are highly attuned predators, seeking out the specific survival mechanisms that traumatized people developed to stay safe. This brings up the most agonizing paradox of all. Why is it physically and psychologically painful to leave a relationship that your logical brain knows is destroying you? This chart maps the biological reality of manipulation. It starts here with love bombing. During this initial phase, the toxic partner acts like the perfect match, artificially flooding your brain's receptors with a massive, unnatural spike of intense pleasure chemicals like dopamine. But then comes the sudden shift to gaslighting and withdrawal. Your brain enters a panic state, dumping huge amounts of the stress hormone cortisol into your body. The toxic partner then offers brief, random moments of affection, intermittent reinforcement, causing the chemical levels to violently spike up and down in rapid, unpredictable waves. We call this extreme oscillating chemical cycle a trauma bond. Your brain becomes physically dependent on these brutal highs and lows. The withdrawal you feel when trying to leave is virtually identical to a severe substance addiction. This neurobiological addiction explains exactly why you might meet a secure, healthy person and feel absolutely nothing. To a traumatized nervous system craving a dopamine spike, a stable partnership feels overwhelmingly boring. Memorizing red flags provides little protection if the body still perceives chaos as a necessity. Logic cannot override a nervous system that still secretly craves high-stakes intensity. As trauma experts like Dr. Gabor Mate emphasize, we have to address the deep-rooted trauma stored physically in the body. Healing requires acknowledging the physical link between the mind and the body. This is the hard work of emotional regulation. It is the active, deeply uncomfortable physical process of retraining your body to sit in the stillness. You are teaching your system to tolerate the boredom of peace without panicking. Recovery demands action. It means establishing ironclad boundaries and doing the painful work of actively grieving the fantasy that you can somehow love a toxic partner into changing. But you must also forgive yourself. Your brain did a beautiful job adapting to survive the trauma of your past. Those behaviors you view as character flaws were actually brilliant, highly effective survival skills. By understanding your own neurobiology, you take your power back. You can rewrite your physical baseline, step out of the cycle, and finally teach your body that it is safe enough to accept a healthy, quiet kind of love.